Hello students, today we will study history, chapter 1, and the name of our chapter is Arrival of Europeans in India. So let us start this chapter. We have learned in the previous standard that many years ago, our country was one of the leading countries in the world. Our country was distinct in the whole world. The people of various countries were being influenced by our culture and prosperity. Many people worldwide were eager to enter into trade with our country and earn wealth out of it. So it is rightly said that our country was said Sone ki chiriya. Our country has good wealth, is good in culture, traditions, diversity, and everything. Our country was earlier known as Sone ki chiriya, so it was overall had a good prosperity. So the outsiders people were very interested in our country to invest and earn a good amount of wealth by doing trade. Earlier, the merchants from the various countries came to India from northwest by land route for the purpose of trading. So the merchants from that northwest came to India by land route. They took the help of land route for the purpose of trading. For years, the Arab traders undertook trade through route, but as situation changed, trade through land route stopped. So for many years, as there was no much change, the traders of Arab countries, they always preferred land route. But as some of the situation changed, this route was stopped, was less preferable. Consequently, the demand for Indian commodities like silk, clothes, muslin, black pepper, spices, cotton clothes, etc. increased. So, Indian commodities like silk were the part, cotton clothes, muslin, black pepper, spices, etc. increased in the European countries. So, these are the Indian commodities. India has rich spices. Even today also some of the spices or various maximum spices are exported to various countries. So this time is of ruling where the India is talking about various many years ago. If India is prospered today, so many years before it would have good prosperity also. So the commodities have a great demand like silk, cotton clothes, black pepper, muslin, which were mostly demanded by European countries. Their demand increased. To take the advantage of this situation, many countries of Europe started searching for a sea route to India. Now, as the demand of these Indian commodities increased, so rather than preferring land route, then as situation changed, Europe stopped using land route for trading purpose and then Europe started searching for a sea route to India. So as you can see this clear and a good picture of Mother India, Bharat Mata as we say. So here we can see the map, the sea route where the Europeans were searching to get a proper sea route or a proper route to travel and to deal with trade. So here is India and see here are the different routes which help us to reach India. So these were the different sea routes which were planned or searched by European traders. Now, subsequently, some adventurous sailors of Europe and other countries started the search of sea route to come to India. Now, there was a great demand of Indian commodities like we said, spices, silk and many other. So, instead of adopting land route, sea route was much searched and preferable. So, every European sailor was in search of a sea route that helps them to come to India. So let us see some of the European sailors and many other sailors. Let us understand different types of sailors. So there are various sailors. First is Christopher Columbus. Let us understand or let us see who is he. Now Christopher Columbus. Columbus, an Italian explorer, was one of the brave sailors who ventured out to find the sea route in India. Now, Christopher Columbus was an Italian explorer and he was the brave sailor. Then he got an interest to find a sea route to India. He thought that one can go to the east via west also. He had a thought that if we can go to east, then we can go via west also. Why did he believe so? Think about it. Columbus started his journey to India and accidentally reached America. So this was his experience. His thought was that if we can go to east, then we can go to via west also. So for he had an accidental journey while he started his journey to India and he reached America. So, as long as he lived, he was under the misconception that he had discovered the sea route to India. He thought that he had discovered the route, but it was not so. Hence, even today, the natives of America are called Red Indians, and the island group in the Caribbean is known as the West Indies. So, the natives which are residing in America presently are also known as Red Indians, and the island group in Caribbean are known as West Indies. Now let us see other sailor, that is Vasco da Gama. Vasco da Gama, a native of Portugal, so he is a Portuguese sailor, discovered the sea route to India. He discovered the sea route. He encircled the Cape of Good Hope in South Africa and reached the port of Calicut on 22nd of May 1498 after crossing the Indian Ocean. So this is the basically the experience and the route given here. So he encircled the Cape of Good Hope, he crossed it in South Africa and he reached the port of Calicut on 22nd of May 1498. He encircled Cape of Good Hope, then he reached the port of Calicut on May 22nd, 1498 after crossing the Indian Ocean. Then ruling king of Calicut, Zamorin, gave permission to the Portuguese to trade. The name of the ruling king of Calicut is Zamorin. Then as he was the king, he had the maximum powers. So he gave the permission to the Portuguese to do the trade. The Portuguese established a fort in Calicut for trade in 1500 CE. They fortified it and appointed a commander-in-chief, namely Albuquerque, to safeguard the fort. Moving northwards, Albuquerque conquered Goa in 1506 CE. Within a span of 100 years, the Portuguese took control of Mangalore, Cochin, Goa, Diu, Mumbai and island of Lanka. So the Portuguese was developing at slow pace. The fort was built there in Calicut for the trading purpose in 1500 CE. Then after the fort was built, a commander-in-chief was appointed named as Albuquerque. So he was the commander-in-chief. So within a span of 100 years, the Portuguese had good power, good development. So the Portuguese took a control of Mangalore, Cochin, Goa, Diu, Mumbai and island of Lanka. Then there was end of Portuguese rule. So let us study. In the beginning of the 17th century, the Portuguese expanded their trade to Bengal. At this time, the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan ruled India from Delhi. The Subedar of Bengal complained to Shah Jahan. Shah Jahan ruled India from Delhi. The Subedar complained Shah Jahan about the behavior of Portuguese. Thus, the fort of Hooghly was demolished and the sheaves were burnt as per the order of Emperor. In this way, the Portuguese rule came to an end with the exceptions of the territories of Diu, Daman and Goa. So in the beginning of 17th century, the Portuguese expanded their trade in various sectors in various parts of India. So they expanded their trade to Bengal. Then at that time, the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan ruled India from Delhi. So In Delhi, there was the rule of Mughal emperor named Shah Jahan. The Subedar of Bengal complained to Shah Jahan about the behavior of Portuguese. So the Subedar, which was working under Shah Jahan, he complained about the behavior of the Portuguese. Thus, the fort of Hooghly was demolished and the ships were burnt as per the order of emperor. So, Mughal emperor took an action, Shah Jahan. So he demolished the fort and he burned some ships there. So in this way, Portuguese rule came to an end, with the exceptions of the territories of Diu, Daman and Goa. Still, in these territories like Diu, Daman and Goa, there was a rule of Portuguese, but in this Bengal, the end of Portuguese rule took place. Now, the Dutch. After 100 years of the arrival of the Portuguese, at the end of 16th century, the Dutch of Holland, now the Netherlands, came to India for trading. Now, as Indian commodities were in demand, after 100 years of the arrival of Portuguese and at the 16th century's end, Dutch of Holland came to India for trading. Initially, they established forts at Pulicat and Madras. Now, Madras is known as Chennai. They also established a trading center at Agra in the year 1663. Meanwhile, the British also arrived in India. The Dutch could not withstand the competition against the British. See, now the most powerful as compared to Dutch and British were powerful than Dutch. So Dutch were not able to succeed much and they were not able to survive the competition of British. So the victory was of British. So Dutch were not able to conquer much. They don't have much power as compared to British. So British won against the competition to Dutch. Now British interest in India. During the reign of Queen Elizabeth of England in the year 1600 CE, the British established the East India Company. This company belonged to merchants who wanted to increase their wealth by undertaking trade with India. So, during the reign of Queen Elizabeth of England, which is in the year of 1600 CE, the British established the East India Company. During this period, East India Company was established by the Britishers. The company belonged to merchants. So, the company includes merchants who wanted to increase their wealth by undertaking trade with India. The first British ship arrived in India at the port of Surat in the year 1608 CE. Captain W. Hawkins, the captain of the ship, was the first British to set foot in India. So, the first British ship, as there was a rule of British in our India, so the first British ship arrived in the India at the port of Surat. So, at that time, Surat was a developed or developing port, due to which the ship of British arrived there in the year 1608 CE. Captain W. Hawkins was the captain of that ship, who was the first British to set foot in India. He met Jahangir but did not get his permission to trade. So Jahangir did not give permission to trade. Therefore, Sir Thomas Roe arrived in India, who acquired the permission to establish a trading center in Surat. Later, Delhi went into the hands of Shah Jahan. Shah Jahan gave permission to the British to carry out trade in Bengal. So this was about British interest in India. Now let's see French. The French established the French East India Company. So here the British established British East India Company or East India Company. The French established the French East India Company in the year 1664 CE. They established factories in Surat, Machilipatnam and Puducherry, now Pondicherry. The head of the French company was Joseph Francois Dupleix, who had the desire to expand European rule in India. Thus, the French and the British stood in competition against each other to become the strongest European country. So, as said that there was a great competition seen around, British was also at good pace and then French came. So, there was good competition between both of them. There were innumerable disputes and battles, and finally the British emerged as the winners. So, after a long and tough battle, British were the winners. However, the French retained their control over the trading centers of Puducherry, Mahe and Chandranagar. So these are some of the trading centers where the French were the winners. Now, British trade in Bengal. The British first started their trade on the banks of the river Hooghly and established forts in the year 1651 CE. So the forts were garrisonized for the protection of the factory and got the permission from the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb to trade without paying taxes against an annual payment. So here we can see in this picture there were ships of the British and the forts. So the British started their trades on the banks of river Hooghly. As the British were day by day or years by years had gained the power which they had defeated Dutch, French, the British power was increasing very much, and they had the banks of river Hooghly and they started establishing their forts in the year 1651. And the forts were protected by the factory, and they got the permission from the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb to trade without paying tax against annual payment. So these were some of the strategies of trade of British in Bengal. So students, here we end our today's concept, and for the concept we will continue in our new class. Thank you.